Morning, guys. We are live Tuesday, Coffee with a Pastor, and I'm gonna wait for a couple people to jump on before I give away too much. Let's see if my phone will show me someone. Anybody gonna come on? Hey, Zach. Thank you. Oh, it says 2 people are watching. Can someone, hey Matt, hey, can someone give me a comment? I'm kind of new to doing it on my phone, but I think I like it better for my situation. So I want to make sure I can see your comments. It says Zach is here, Matt is here. It says there's 4 people watching, but hey Matt, thank you. Okay, great. Hi Heather. It's Tuesday. Heather's off work. So good to see you on here. It says 7 people are watching, but it's not telling me who. I want to know. Hey Brittany. Hello from Austin to Pennsylvania, Philadelphia-ish. Oh, thanks Matt. I totally forgot. Matt's normally in school. Thanks for being here, Matt. Okay, well, hey Tori. Let's see. As people are jumping on, hi Peyton. I always forget to say hi. Peyton and Zach and Brandy. Good morning. It's not. Okay, yeah. I'm reading the comments. Okay, so what I want to do while people are signing on is, for those of you who may have kids or kids in your life who you are curious how to navigate Holy Week with, I thought that I would show you some of the resources I use. Hi, Chris. And take it or leave it. I mean, it's kind of too late this year to order some of this stuff, but you could take note. I think I posted it in the comments, so you can look them up and maybe next year. But I just wanted to show you guys what I was doing with my daughter who's 4 while we're waiting. So the first thing that I do every year is, not every year because she's 4, but the last couple of years, I print off a Lenten calendar. You can just find one on the internet. And every day we color in the journey toward Easter. So, hey Fran, hey Paige. So yeah, we've been doing that, but specifically during Holy Week. Holy Week is a really good time. Lent is a great time, and Advent, these kind of high church seasons, are a great time to provide a little bit of spiritual education for your kids, because you can sort of go by the day's themes or the season's themes. And so this week, I have been taking my daughter into my office, or a space that's not a usual space we go in, and talking about Holy Week. Yeah, and so on this side of deconstruction, the reason I want to talk about this for just a sec is just because it's hard to know how to navigate the spiritual walk, I guess, with your kids. You don't really want to do it the way you received it. There's not a lot of guidance all the time, and it basically, I just want to steer clear of indoctrination, and it's hard to navigate what that looks like. But what I've told myself recently that has helped me is that it's not any different than what we do in our church. What specifically Fran and Matt and I do as pastors to our church, we say it all the time, is we provide sacred space. And it's not any different with your kids. There's a difference between telling them what to believe and providing the sacred space for them to just have the opportunity to engage their faith if they want to. And so here's what I'm using. This is a great book for Lent. It's called Make Room. You can look up in the my caption. It says this is a great walkthrough for Lent. Okay, so it does cover Holy Week as well. And then I think Kaylee Tubbs told me about this one. This is new for me this year. This is a Holy Week, an emotions primer. And so it goes through the events of Holy Week and explains the various emotions that Jesus was feeling. And we are going through this a few pages at a time each morning, along with continuing to follow this book. And of course, we start it off with coloring our calendar. And then this is the Easter book that we're not reading yet. We're going to read it on Easter. This is the one that we're using this year, and I think I ordered it last year. I have another one too. And I'm not a kids person. I'm not a kids pastor or a professional with kids with their developmental ages and what's appropriate. So I would say all three of these are a wide range for different ages, especially this one. If you open it up, the illustrations are really beautiful. And there's, there's a lot more words in this one as well as this one. This one's really good for probably older kids to understand Lent, see how long it is. So I couldn't say what works best, but I'm using a mix and just making it work for a 4-year-old. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and encourage you. You don't, as a parent, have to do it perfect or talk about God every day or whatever. I mean, we do not do that. But what we do is try to provide a space for faith engagement so that it is available. Okay, so we've got about 31 people watching. That's pretty cool. I want to read to you the gospel reading for Tuesday of Holy Week, or part of it, and then just a little quick talk about salvation. Nothing major. So our gospel reading is from, Tori said, will you put up a post titles? I thought I did. It should be in the caption of the video, but I'll make sure you get that as well. Okay, so our gospel reading today for the Tuesday of Holy Week is from the Gospel of John, and we're in chapter 12. The full text is verses 20 through 36, but I'm going to skip to 27 just to save a little bit of time. Okay, so Jesus speaks about his death. He says, "Now my soul is troubled, and what should I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it is for this reason that I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came from heaven. "I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again." The crowd standing there heard it and said that it was thunder. Others said, "An angel has spoken to him." Jesus answered, "This voice has come for your sake, not mine. Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be driven out. And I, when I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself." He said this to indicate the type of death he was to die. The crowd answered him, "We have heard from the law that the Messiah remains forever. How can you say that the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is the Son of Man?" Jesus said to them, "The light is with you for a little longer. Walk while you have the light, so that the darkness may not overtake you. If you walk in the darkness, you do not know where you are going. While you have the light, believe in the light, so that you may become children of light." Good morning if you're just now watching. So there's a lot to say that could be said on the text, and I did cut off the first half, but it just got me thinking about light and darkness. That's a main theme in our faith. It's a main theme in Lent. And right now, I think it's a really relevant theme in all of our lives. It feels in a lot of ways like the things of God that we might typically think of. Peace, joy, hope. It feels like maybe these things are more hidden now. But I think if we look deeper like we like to do in our community, at the life of Jesus, at the path of Lent, and the story of our world, all of these things tell us that God is found in the darkness. And in fact, we can't experience the light without experiencing the darkness. God is light, God is love, and that light and that love is found with us, even in the depths. So what that tells me is that we have what we need right here in this space, and yet there is also more to come. But if you look at all of our readings for today, every day has its own reading during Holy Week, you will see a theme of salvation. You'll see it in the Isaiah reading. In the Psalm, the psalmist is straight up saying it over and over and over. Save me, save me, save me. The 1 Corinthians reading talks about salvation. And so when I think about light this morning, I think about salvation. And the way I always define salvation is simply by saying new life. So when we talk about salvation, we're talking about a new life, a new way of seeing the world, a new way of living, a new way of engaging, just a spirit-informed new life. And I think that the way that this translates, the way salvation translates into action, is through the work of liberation, right? So the work that we're doing as a church, when we're talking about racial reconciliation and racial healing, when we're talking about dismantling things like patriarchy and white supremacy, when we are talking about all of these themes, and when we're doing the work of them, we're doing the work of liberation, which is the work of getting people free. It starts with us getting free. It's inner work. And to me, this is all the work of salvation. And so we are doing this work even now. This work never pauses. And my question to you and for all of us is, what does new life look like right now in these times? What does new life look like in this time of uncovering what was dark, what was in the dark, and is now brought out into the light? What does new life look like in this time where so many are sick? How do you understand and engage the concept of new life when you're sick? How does new life look as a collective when we're all so vulnerable, when we're all so afraid and anxious and stressed out? And I think now more than ever, we become aware that the whole all fly away mentality isn't enough, right? It's not enough to talk about salvation this way. It might provide a comfort, but it's not the whole picture. And in this time of uncovering, we're facing that more than ever. And so, what does new life look like as the resurrected church? And how are we to be a part of it? And how do we need to receive it? How do you need to receive new life right now? And how do you need to give it? I don't have answers. Jesus never had answers, so why would I? Jesus always answered questions with questions, so I'm giving you questions to think about during this Holy Week, okay? But I want to make a point of connection with the idea of salvation, the idea of getting free, and a point of connection with each other. And just bring up that tonight is a full moon. It's actually the biggest and brightest full moon of 2020. It's a pink supermoon. It's not actually a pink moon. It's just named that way because of spring flowers and spring blooms. But another name for it, did you know, another name for the full moon tonight is the Paschal full moon. Did anybody know that? Because I actually really didn't think about it until now. Paschal means Passover. So Easter almost always occurs the Sunday after the Paschal moon. And Pope Gregory, I have to read this part because I don't have it memorized. Pope Gregory the 13th, decreed this in 1582 as part of the Gregorian calendar that that Easter would fall every year after the Paschal moon. So Passover commemorates liberation. That's the whole point of celebrating Passover. It is the commemoration, the celebration of when God brought the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt and into freedom and liberation. And now today, we have this moon, the biggest new moon of the whole, full moon of the whole year happening, called the Paschal moon, during the time that we're commemorating liberation and resurrection. That is like so cool to me. And so what this tells me is that it is a great time for a ritual. It is a great time for a ritual. I love rituals. Can't wait to talk about them more in the coming weeks. But tonight is the night, you guys. What ritual do you need and when you think about these questions of giving and receiving liberation, giving and receiving new life, giving and receiving salvation, what do you need to give? What do you need to receive? And how can you turn this into a ritual for yourself tonight between the hours of 9:35 Central? That's when it will reach the peak. So maybe between the hours of 9 and 10 Central, can you go outside? Can you look out a window? Can you pull up a picture of a moon? And can you think of a ritual, whether it's saying a prayer, lighting a candle, or writing some things down? What can you give? What do you need to release? What do you need to receive? And I challenge you to spend some time today thinking about a small ritual you could do tonight between 9 and 10. And if anything, if you could go outside if possible, it might not be possible, but if you can, go outside, 9:35 Central, look up at the moon and know that I'm going to be looking up at it. I bet Fran is, if I had to guess. And if you are, put it in the comments so that we can have a moment of togetherness even while we're apart. This is such a powerful idea to me. I really, really hope, yes, Brandy said moon dance. I really, really hope that tonight when I'm looking up at the moon, I can have your names in my head. I can voice your names, say them in the comments, and I'm definitely going to do a little moon jig. So this is my invitation for you today on this Tuesday before Holy Week, or of Holy Week before Easter. And I guess I'll see you guys later. Tomorrow, Matt will be doing Coffee with the Pastor, so check us out again at 10 a.m. Hey Trey, great to see you, and I'll say your name tonight. I'll be thinking of you. Be thinking of all of you who list your names. So talk to you later. Thanks, guys.